Hello, you join me today as we turn the corner of the new year in game to 2024. We have a third round FA Cup tie against Premier League opposition, and we try and put pressure on Manchester City at the top of the Premier League. Hello, it's a very warm welcome to episode 13 of Irons in the Fire as we try and make West Ham good and great again. My name's Mark, and on today's episode, as mentioned in the preamble, we have an FA Cup third round tie against Newcastle, which we saw, I think, the draw in the last episode. A third round tie at the London Stadium, and then we welcome Aston Villa, who join us for Premier League Match Day 21. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button, leave me some comments, let me know what you're thinking of this series so far, what you'd like to see me to do next, and anything that you just want to put in the comments. Just be pleased to hear from you, and let me know what you think of the channel as well. If you sort of like, we're obviously trying to increase subscribers, and it all helps here on YouTube. Right, since you were last with us, just one thing to mention before we do go any further is the modding I've done is we're using Work the Spaces gold skin. So that's the skin that we'll be using this series. Well, in fact, in FM24 probably. We're also using it in our other save, Project Turnaround, just to have some sort of consistency between the saves as it was. Right, Fulham and Tottenham in the last episode, both 2-1 wins, but we went on to play Nottingham Forest at the City Ground, and this is how the day went. It was basically a 5-0 trouncing of Nottingham Forest. First half, 9 minutes. Ollie Watkins got the first goal after 9 minutes. And it was a goal kick from their goalie. And who was that? I can't remember who that was that stepped in. But anyway, Watkins scores. And it's 1-0 after 9 minutes. Then Pablo Fornals added to that after 18. We want to see all the goals. We'll see all the goals. I should have just put it on highlight, I guess. Fornals out to Kufal. Alvarez. Kufal crossed it in. Fornals has moved into the box and just sweeps it into the back of the net. Good goal. Good goal. Souček then joining the party after 23. Bowen. Souček with his bullet header from the near post. It is 3-0 as we head towards half-time. Gerard Bowen, having had lots cancelled out recently for offside, managing to beat the offside trap here, puts it away aplomb, as we know he can. There was a question of whether he was offside or not, but it was given. And 4-0 half-time, and it was a pretty mediocre second half compared to the first half, really. James Ward-Prowse adding our fifth and final goal on 81 minutes. A lovely shot from just outside the area, and the goalkeeper not getting anywhere near that. So we had 19 shots, 11 of which were on target, 2.19 on the old XG, 61% of the possession. They have 5 shots, 1 on target, 0.30, and 39% of the possession. So it was a good old win, and pushes us back up into second place in the table, tucked in behind Manchester City. 1 point behind them. They do have a game in hand, though, so that potentially, that 1 point could be 4 points. So we just need to keep the pressure on. We are 2 points now ahead of Manchester United in third, and 4 points clear of Liverpool in fourth, which all that means we cannot let up anytime soon. We're 8 points clear of Arsenal in fifth, who are in the other European places. So at the moment, we're quite well cemented in that Champions League group. Tottenham 6th on 38. Then Aston Villa and Brentford are on 34. Literally a goal difference job there. Aston Villa, of course, in our second team in the episode. And then, of course, Sheffield United, Luton Town and Fulham still in the drop zone. We have moved into the transfer window. I say there's a lot going on. There isn't. We're rejecting offers at the moment. Newcastle are after Agard. They wanted to offer us a 34.5 million for him. Do you know, I'm sure, here we go. I suppose it wasn't bad, really, but do we want to get rid of him? Not if we can help it. I mean, he's our second best, unless we can upgrade him. I mean, if we're going to bring in 34 million, there or thereabouts, if we're going to bring that in, and we can upgrade him along with what we've got in the pot, 22 million. I don't think we're going to need a lot of players, to be fair. If you look at the planner and the full squad view, we're not really... I suppose the other thing is we could do with another defensive midfield, but we're not. I mean, we're playing well from there. The only other place probably would be a right-sided wing back. But again, it's not bad. Maybe a better goalkeeper. I don't know. I think they're ones for the summer. I think as far as shoring things up right now, I think we just need to see if anybody leaves. Obviously, what we want to try and do is upgrade on what we've got. So, for instance, if Agard was to leave us, we'd want to replace him with somebody that's maybe 3.5 stars as a bare minimum, that can go alongside Kurt Zuma in that defensive line, as it were. So, yeah, maybe I've turned that down. I mean, it's 27 million up front, 34.5 with add-ons. We'll see if they come back. Obviously, we're at 7th of January. Transfer window is young. Yeah. Ollie Skulls, he's been offered, I don't know if he was offered loan, only 20% of his wages, and I don't accept anything less than 50% as a bare minimum. And Gideon Kuda, he looks like he might be on the way out. We've agreed a loan for him for 100% of his wages. So turned down... transfers from Hull and Swansea. Right, with all that said and done, let's get on with it. An FA Cup third round tie against Newcastle, the people that are trying to get Agard off of us. Let's hope he can't do that. It's -3. Light snow is the weather forecast. Yeah, Newcastle, we played them, or have played them once this series. We played them at St James's Park in the Premier League early December, about a month ago now. Beat them 3-2 on that occasion. Shahar and Isaac scoring for Newcastle. Gerard Bowen getting 2 and Lewis Paqueta, the other one. I mean, we were 3 up after 22 minutes. And, well, no, we weren't actually. We were 2-1 up. We were 2 up after 19. And then Shahar got one back. And then just before half-time, they made it... 3-2, but we hang on in the second half. So hopefully we can do a better job today being at home. Let's go and have a look at the team then that will face Newcastle in this FA Cup third round. And here is the team that will face Newcastle in this FA Cup, Emirates FA Cup third round. We have a number of players that are away on international duty. It's the African Group of Nations competition. Agard, Cornet and Kudus are the ones that are away at the moment. Right, we have this team then that will face... Newcastle, Areola in goal. Creswell, Mavropanos, Zuma and Kufal make the defensive line. Souček, Ward-Prowse and Alvarez are in central midfield. Fornells sits behind Bowen and Watkins up front. On the bench, we have Frabinski, Emerson, Lucas Paqueta, De Thomas, Carrera, Skulls, Ings, Johnson and Tarima. Couple of players there that have been featuring just recently, coming through the youth thing, mainly because we've got those players out on international duty. But that's the team that will face Newcastle. And here's how the two teams line up. We've won 4 of our last 5, lost the other one. A little bit of snow on the ground, as you see. They won 4, lost 1, drawn 1. They're playing a flat back 3 with 2 wing backs. First time we've seen snow. FM24. First highlight comes just 2 minutes in. It's Newcastle coming forward. Ward-Prowse to Zuma. Furnells. Furnells gets it through to Kufal. Kufal into the area, cuts it back. Lines in blue, of course, and shot got away there. I'm not sure what happened. Ward-Prowse, Souček, still on. Furnells, back to Mavropanos. We'll see it now from the front end. Kufal. Kufal cuts it back. Oh, Alvarez won it off of the defender. And it's gone away. And here we are again. Zuma. Kufal. Alvarez. Furnells. Furnells finds Kufal out there. He's in the area again. Cross it in. Oh, Watkins puts that wide. Lovely move. Furnells. Just lose sight of that ball when it goes across the white bits. But yeah, Watkins snatched at that. Throw in from Mavropanos. Souček heads it on. Alvarez just couldn't get it down. Seen this happen so many times. Souček just flicks it on. Alvarez is there. It's gone over the top. Have a corner now. Creswell with an in-swinger. To the near post, but it's defended quite well. Zuma back out to Creswell. Creswell has support. Zuma chips it in. Oh, and Ollie Watkins off his head. 9th goal of the season. And Ollie Watkins gives us a 1-0 lead after 28 minutes. Lovely ball in. Creswell. It's headed out by Byrne. Zuma back to Creswell. Creswell has a second bite of the cherry. Gives it to Zuma. Zuma and Watkins coming in. Just lovely. Corner from the other side now. Ward-Prowse, a short one to Bowen. To Ward-Prowse. Furnells is brought down in the penalty area and the referee's pointed at the spot. He'll ask VAR to check it, I guess. But Furnells was floored. He was. Richie brought him down. And we could make it 2-0 on 32 minutes. Souček with the penalty. He's put it away. I thought the goalkeeper was going to save it for a minute. His 10th goal of the season. And 2-0 after 32. We could have an FA Cup 4th round draw coming soon. And half-time comes. And I suppose the only surprise in all of this is that we're not more than 2 goals to the good. But we've restricted Newcastle to no shots, nothing on target. They've had 60% of the possession, though, but not done anything with it. That's a bit bizarre. 9 shots, 5 on target, 2.31, 40% of the possession. I'm happy with that, albeit we could do with a bit more possession in the second half. First highlight of the second half, 46 minutes in, and we're on the maraud again. Gerard Bowen. Alvarez creates a bit of space. He's holding the ball up. He's got support there from Kufal. Kufal tries to get the cross in. He didn't. Oh, and it's Aaron Creswell getting his 4th of the season, and it took a deflection somewhere in that. We'll see it from behind the goal in a moment. But as that ball fell, Alvarez looking for the support. He had Kufal there. Kufal it didn't quite go as Kufal wanted, and actually it didn't. It just bent in the air. Creswell with a corner now. Swung in. It's headed out. Zuma, or was it a defended, I presume? It wasn't Zuma pushed that out. Furnells. He's come rolling forward, but Isaac wins it back. Furnells not giving up, though, and he's got into the area. He's crossed that right across the 6-yard box, and even that's come back off the woodwork, I think. Furnells complaining. That's took a deflection. It did come back off the post. Souček. Bowen. Creswell. Souček. Ward-Prowse out to Kufal. Kufal crossed it in. Oh, Gerard Bowen putting that wide. You got to put money on Gerard Bowen putting this one away. And Souček. Kufal, lovely ball. Might have been offside, actually. Pope with the goal kick. And a rare highlight for Newcastle at the moment. Creswell. They created Newcastle doing something a bit weird, and Kufal out there again. Kufal gets the cross in. Souček couldn't bring it down. And with 62 minutes on the clock, making two changes, James Ward-Prowse, he's tiring. He's also got a yellow card, so we've replaced him with Carrera, and we've also replaced in that central midfield. Alvarez has come off, and Lucas Paqueta comes on for him. Creswell with a throw in on that far side. Carrera deep in our own half. Paqueta, Watkins, poor ball, had no control under it, and gave the ball away. Well cut out by Creswell though. Souček, Zuma, Paqueta. Paqueta now through the lines. Paqueta comes forward. He's on his own. He's had a go on his own as well. Mavropanos, Kufal. The attention of the Newcastle player there. Souček, Mavropanos, Carrera, Souček. Souček finds Paqueta. Paqueta through to Bowen. Bowen! And his 14th goal of the season, Gerard Bowen. And it's 4-0 on 78 minutes. And I think you can probably say we are in the fourth round of the FA Cup. Took a bit of deflection as well of Lascelles. And with 78 minutes on the clock, we're making two more changes. Aaron Creswell on a yellow card. And he's had a good game, but we've taken him off. Emerson is on for him. And we've also taken off Thomas Souček, who has also had an excellent game, but is tiring. And we've replaced him with Ollie Scholes. And it's all over, no more highlights. And we win that one by 4-0. 2 in the first half, 2 in the second half. And 17 shots, 9 on target, 3.36, 44% of the possession. So we did gain 4% of the possession in that second half. Newcastle had 3 shots, 1 on target, and 56% of the possession. There is a draw coming up for the fourth round very shortly. Well, as promised, we have the draw for the FA Cup fourth round. 42 teams going into the hat for 16 matches. Who are we going to get in the fourth round? Let's go and find out. And here we are with the draw for the Emirates FA Cup fourth round. And as I said, there are 42 teams left in the draw, which means there are 10 replays still to come. Let's see who we get then. Get underway. Aldershot Town and Leyton Orient first out. What more can you do? We will either be playing Aldershot Town or Leyton Orient. Aldershot Town, I think, are in the Vanarama National League, possibly. And Leyton Orient, League One, I think. I'm not absolutely certain, but we won't progress through the draw anymore. We'll just advance to the end. Port Vale and Liverpool last out. Let's have a quick look at the draws. See if there's any juicy ties in there. Nottingham Forest and Wigan, Burnley and Fulham. Manchester United are at home to Huddersfield. Everton and Arsenal. So if Arsenal can beat Everton, they have a derby against Chelsea. That's quite an interesting one. Manchester City have Blackburn. If they can get past Wrexham, that looks like that's rolled over. We'll check the score on that in a moment. Aston Villa will play Tottenham, an all Premier League affair there. Crystal Palace playing Rotherham. Port Vale, good money spinner for them. Probably been better the other way round, but and then Bristol City or Sheffield United will play West Brom. That's the draw then for the Emirates FA Cup 4th round. Let's have a look and see how it sits in the old schedule. It's going to come in here, so we're going to come back very quickly then. It looks like it's going to be the 4th round tie and a game against Chelsea possibly next up. And then we have Fulham again. That's come around quick. Right, okay, so there you go. We will do no more. We'll move on to the Aston Villa game and have a look at the team that's going to face them. We have 4 players away on international duty, no injuries. They have 3 players out or injured at the moment. We've played them once so far this series in the Premier League earlier in the season at Villa Park. Beaten them 2-1 on that occasion. Gerard Bowen and Thomas Souček. You'd not been surprised at that, would you? Boubacar Kamara getting the consolation goal as it turned out. A 2-1 win against Aston Villa at Villa Park then back in October. What can we do this time? And here we are. No news in between other than Manchester City have lost to Liverpool, which means if we win this game, we would go top of the Premier League, albeit only by 2 points, but it's still a lead. So we have pretty much an unchanged side to face Aston Villa in this Premier League match day 21. Areola in goal then, Creswell, Mavropanos, Zuma and Kufal. Souček, Ward-Prowse and Alvarez are in midfield. Fornells sits behind Bowen and Watkins up front. Trott is on the bench because Frabinski has picked up a flu. Emerson, Paqueta, Thomas, Carrera, Skulls, Ings, Johnson and Tarima are all on the bench. And here we are at the London Stadium again. Sticking to, as I say, an unchanged side. That's probably the first time we've done it this save. Aston Villa, they've won 4 of their last 5. Lost the other one. They're playing a 4-2-2-2. 2 wide players and 2 up front. Aston Villa in 8th with 34 points. We're in 3rd with 47. First highlight is 5 minutes in, and it's Aston Villa on the ball, playing with white shirts today. Swung in, but Alvarez gets ahead to that, clears it. They're playing with Brereton Diaz up front. We won that ball, but it's not come away. Bowen's going to get it, though. Brereton Diaz is up front for Aston Villa. He is in our Brentford save, of course. Souček! And it's a goal. Creswell. 5th goal of the season and 7 minutes on the clock. And what a move it was too. It says at the bottom there, lovely move. And it was absolutely fantastic. Bowen, having won that ball, gone out wide. Holds it up. Souček left it to Creswell. Creswell back to Souček. And they almost knew what they were doing then. Souček. Zuma, who's picked up a yellow card, and Diaby, but it was tidied up by Creswell. Back to Areola, and news just coming in that we have gone top of the table with that lead. Kufal has Alvarez inside him, but it's a poor ball from Alvarez on this occasion. Players not on the same wavelength. Olsen. Konsa, Douglas Lewis. Owen tracking back there. Creswell cuts that ball out, and good play by Creswell, and quite arty-farty as well. Alvarez for Watkins, almost put him in trouble for a minute, but Watkins was able to do something with it. Kufal now crosses deep, looking for Bowen. Bowen heads it. It was coming down, but just not quite enough. Bowen, Souček comes forward. Souček tries to get the ball in. Couldn't get it in. Creswell will, though. Crosses it deep. Oh! Just wide. Who was that put that wide? It was Alvarez. See it again from the other angle. Souček had 2 bites at the cherry, decided Creswell was a better option, crossed it in, and Alvarez just wide of the post. Highlights coming thick and fast at the moment. And Olsen, Konsa. It's gone out wide to Zanillo. But Kufal is out there and tidies up. Ward-Prowse, Fernels. Ward-Prowse, Watkins, Souček, Bowen. It's all very quick, fast, one-touch football. Kufal, Watkins hits the post. Did in the last game, and he's done it again. The accuracy is almost too good. Look at that. Pumped it onto the post. Goalkeeper was beaten. And the highlights have dried up a little bit. We are 45 minutes in, the first minute of 3 added on at the end of this first half. And Aston Villa trying to get a ball through. Ward-Prowse. Bowen. Oh, yes. 15th goal of the season. Question if he's offside, though. Would be his 15th of the season if it's awarded. It's disallowed. He was offside. In fact, it wasn't Bowen that was offside. It was Watkins, but Watkins played it on to Bowen, and half-time has come. No more highlights, and that disallowed goal from Gerard Bowen because Watkins was offside is really annoying. So it stays at a 1-0 lead at half-time. We've had 8 shots, 4 on target. 1.17 on the XG. 44% of the possession. They've had 56% of the possession. 3 shots, 1 on target. 0.27. We could do with a couple more goals, I think. First highlight of the second half comes 66 minutes in. Creswell with a corner. An in-swinger. Steep. And Mavropanos, I think that was, headed that over the top. We'll see from this angle. It was Mavropanos. And with nearly 68 minutes on the clock, we're making 3 changes at this juncture in time. Alvarez is tiring. Not had a good day either. He's come off. Luis Paqueta comes on for him. We've removed James Ward-Prowse, who's picked up another yellow card. And Carrera sits into that ball-winning midfielder position. And we've also taken off up Fernels, who he was having a poor day, really, which isn't like him. He's been on good form of late. Gerard Bowen drops into that shadow striker role. And Danny Ings comes on up front. Zuma with a free kick. Bowen, who's now playing in that shadow striker role, behind the front two. Paqueta. Paqueta goes all the way back to Areola. Mavropanos comes forward. Paqueta. Paqueta has Bowen there. Bowen. What's he going to do with this? First ball was pretty poor, but Danny Ings, 3rd goal of the season. Question of his offside. Trying to get this 2-goal lead and finding it trouble. VAR check-in. It is a goal. It is a goal. It looked like it, but I wasn't too sure. And Bowen crosses this in at the second attempt. And Danny Ings just hangs there for it. Can see the lines now. That's the point that the ball was crossed in, and he was onside. And with 75 minutes on the clock, we're making our final 2 changes. We've taken off Souček. He's been replaced by Ollie Skulls. And we've also taken off Aaron Creswell, who is tiring quickly. Had a great game. He's been replaced by Emerson. Mavropanos with a long throw, as he does. Carrera heads that back. Oh, just over the top. Quite sure who it was that headed it over the top. Carrera heading it back. In fact, it looked like the defence. And it's all over. No more highlights. And it's a 2-0 win against Aston Villa. Aaron Creswell after 7 minutes. Danny Ings having come on as a substitute after 74. I don't know that they did a lot in that second half. We'll need to go back and watch the highlights and see how it did. It did get a bit more possession, nicked a bit back off us, but they still only had 5 shots, 1 on target. We had 14 shots, 6 on target, 2.27 on the XG compared to their 0.51. It's another win. Let's go and see how that's left us in the table. Well, I thought I'd show you the Saturday games first. And as you'll see, Manchester United beating Arsenal by 3-0. Crystal Palace beating Chelsea 2-1. Tottenham beating Sheffield United 4-1. But the huge result for us is Liverpool have beaten Manchester City by 1-0, which means that we, having won that game, let's move on to this screen, having won that game against Aston Villa by 2-0, we move up into first place, 50 points in first place. We have played one more game than Manchester City, and if they were to win that game in hand, would overtake us again. But they would only then be 1 point in front of us. So it's really closed the gap a little bit. They're on 48 points then, and Manchester United also on 48, just by virtue of goal difference that Manchester City are in front of Manchester United. Liverpool down in 46, 4 points behind us. Then come Tottenham, who are now 9 points adrift. So we are 9 points clear in the Champions League places at the moment. So Tottenham on 41 in 5th. Arsenal 6th on 39. Then come Brentford on 7th on 37. And then there's a bit of a gap. Aston Villa losing to us today are in 8th on 34. Sheffield United, Luton Town and Fulham still in that drop zone, albeit Sheffield United are pressurising Nottingham Forest, who have a game in hand, and they have to get some sort of result against Everton, who are in 13th place at the moment. So that's all happening. We're going to come back for an FA Cup 4th round tie. Not sure if it's going to be against Aldershot or Leighton Orient. We've got 16 days to the next game, so it must be an international break. And then we will play Chelsea. Last year's beta save, of course. We'll be playing them in the next episode. So I hope you can join me for that. If you have enjoyed today's episode, then please leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe, hit the notification button, leave me some comments. It obviously keeps you up to date with all future episodes of Irons in the Fire and our other series. Project Turnaround, which is coming towards the end of its series, which means there will be a new FM series coming very, very soon. So put down in the comments what you'd like to see me do. The best way of keeping up to date what's happening on this channel is to follow me on Twitter at JustOffsideFM. New episodes of Irons in the Fire will be released every Monday and Thursday at 4:15 p.m. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you for the next episode. It'll be episode 14. It's out on Monday. And if you're not watching my other series, have yourselves a good weekend. If you are, or you haven't seen it yet, go and watch it tomorrow. It's out same time. Till then, bye-bye.